Before we jump into coding or getting deeper into React.js, let me explain what this course entails and why React is important. Okay, React is a JavaScript library. Okay, it is used to build fast, interactive user interfaces. Okay, when I say user interface is what I mean by that is anything that the user can interact on the screen. Say, for example, this button or a link or say this arrow mark, anything on the screen that is being displayed, and I can click it or type in a text box. Everything, all these things are considered as user interface. Okay, so what will we do in this course? We will help learners understand the React fundamentals by building it. Okay, it is not just a theory workshop, but also we will be practically doing something so that you can understand step by step how exactly things work out. Okay, so the course highlights are, it is, as I told you, it's beginner friendly, and we will go step by step. We will keep adding extra features as and when we go, that you will see in the next few classes. We will be focusing not only on theory but also hands-on experience, and I will be guiding the projects, and I could also give you some assignments which you can do it on your own. So, and it also covers a little bit of everything. Okay, so what can you do at the end of the course? So you will understand how React works. You will be able to create React applications from scratch. You will know how to use React hooks like use state and use effect, and then you can know you will understand how to fetch data from the APIs and display it on the screen. You will understand how user actions can change the UI. So if you input, what can you expect, or if you click on submit button, what you can expect. Okay, then you will be, as I told you, you will all be able to create React applications, and then finally you will be able to see the best practices, okay, for readability. So sometimes the concept of clean code, right? So basically anyone who sees your project should understand what exactly it does. So your variable names or your function names you should be able to give a small overview of what it entails. Okay, I understand React can be confusing for now, but by the end of the workshop, I think you will be able to understand the differences, and you can start connecting things, how it works, how exactly everything will be managed. So, what are the tools and environments we are going to need? Tools are Node.js and NPM. NPM is again packaged in Node.js, so you don't have to download it and install it separately. Code editor, VS Code is recommended because it is simple and it is easy to navigate. Web browser, Chrome, because normally everyone uses Chrome. It is easier to debug. My SQL workbench, that is for our final assignment. We will see what exactly we do. So these are the tools that we will be using. Okay. So what will we do? We will create a React project, understand project folder structure, run the development server. This development server is the built-in React server. We'll not be using any extra tools. Okay. And we can also see how to use browser tools for basic debugging. So now we will start with React foundations. Okay. So what is React and why is it used? As I told you, React is a JavaScript library used to build user interfaces. React is mainly used to build something called as single page applications. So, what does single page applications mean? It means that the page or the website or the web page does not reload everything when you have changes, when you push in change. Okay. It is more like consider um your Gmail. When you open an email, the page doesn't reload, it just reloads a section of this. So, for example, let us see here. Okay. So, this is my Gmail, right? So, when I go back and click on the first one, as you can see, the whole page did not reload. Only this section, the wherein all the emails are displayed, those that section just changed. Okay, this is only possible. This is a very smooth transition. Okay, if I say click on arrow, all of these, the borders, everything did not change. That remained the same. Only the contents of the email changed, right? And it was very smooth. It did not have that lag or anything. Correct? This can be achieved through React. Okay. So as I told you, single page applications does not reload page
So
again and again. It only,
Mridula, is it?
yeah. Yes, sir.
Are you concluding that Gmail has been built using React?
I feel that is the case, sir,
Okay, okay,
because I mean, they might not have only used React, they might have used many other things as well. But
okay.
I'm just giving an example of single page application, how it works.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm just throwing a challenge to people here. I think somebody should try to build a small email application. It'll be nice.
that would be interesting.
Yeah, a GM,
Yeah,
nano version of a Gmail.
yeah, that would be really interesting if
Yeah,
someone can manage to do it,
right, right.
because
Okay.
it takes up a lot of time. I will not say it wouldn't.
Yeah,
So it does take up a lot of time, to
right.
create and host something like that.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So single page application. Um, so I were you able to understand what exactly single page application is? Okay. If anyone has a question, please unmute yourself and speak up. Okay. Okay. Then so the important idea behind React is called component. Okay. So React is a component based architecture, has a component based architecture. So a component in this case is a small reusable piece of user interface. So for example, it can be a button, it can be a text box, it can be a link. So all these are called components in React. Okay. So normally, what happens is in React, we could align it to a Lego. Okay, as you all know, what happens is Lego is small, small building blocks, right? Each thing is called a component. Okay, so all these using all these small small pieces, we can create a huge Lego, say for example Lego house or a Lego boat, so something like that. Correct. So React is similar. So it makes use of small small components, and then it will we can build the application on these components. Okay. So next, what is JSX? So JSX is nothing but JavaScript extendable. It's called JavaScript extendable. Okay. React uses JSX to build up applications. Okay. So JSX looks like HTML, but is actually a JavaScript code. Okay. JSX allows you to write the user interface code in a readable way. And one important thing is, always remember, React can also use TypeScript, but we will be concentrating on JavaScript. Okay. So now,
Ma'am,
uh, you know the functional components. Those are
ma'am,
the, yeah, Gayatri.
what is the difference between JSX and JavaScript?
So basically, JSX makes use of React components. Okay.
Okay.
It is basically built for React. So you will understand it when we are trying to do the coding, okay, of the assignments.
Okay.
Okay. So one more important thing is, every React app starts from a main component called app.js. So the first thing that is visible in our React web page would be app.js. Okay, it is like the gateway. Okay. Now let's create a simple React program. Okay. I have already opened my VS Code. Now what I'll do is file, open folder. Now, so let me give it assignment 1. Okay. Select folder. Okay. Now we're going to close up everything. So the first thing we will be doing is, we will be installing our React. Okay. So for that, we need to see if Node.js is installed or not. Okay. That we do by using node version and npm. So as you can see, we have our Node.js installed as well as npm. This is called Node Package Manager. So whatever packages that you require, you just give the command and the Node Package Manager will automatically install it for you in your system. Okay. So now what we say is, create React. It is npx create React app and say assignment 1. Okay. So as you can see, the npm is trying to install React DOM, React scripts, and CRA template. Okay. So basically, it will have everything that you require to host a development server, and everything else related to it. Okay. So another important thing is, we will go here. Okay. So I will send the link in the chat. Okay. This is for your reference. So you can get the basics of React from this. Okay. If you need more information. Okay. So as I told you, everything begins with app.js, correct? So here, you see here, export default function, my app. Okay. Here we have this app.js. Okay. We will do here. Okay, so what is happening is, we are creating a function called my button. Okay, and we have a return function because a function should return something, and then we are using HTML tags. See, I already told you JSX makes you can make use of HTML as well. See, we are using HTML here and saying I'm a button, and we're closing the HTML tag. But we cannot use this inside our app.js. Okay, we need to create something called my button tag. This tag is called a React tag. The difference between the HTML tag and React tag is this one. See, this is capital, correct? This particular my button is a capitalized tag, okay? Whereas your HTML tags will always begin with a small letter or the lowercase, okay? And React tags are self-enclosing. They do not have an opening and a closing tag. They're all in one, combined together, similar to input tag. Okay. So whenever you see any capitalized tag, it is a React tag. Okay. So we will also see how to implement this in our assignments. So now, as you can see, we have everything installed, and then it also suggests what needs to be done next, correct? See, you can see it here. So what we need to go do is we need to, we will see the folder structure first, okay? So here in the folder structure, we have app1 dot assignment one app. So that's what we said, right? Assignment one dot app is our React app. Okay, so it is created under assignment one. So if we open it up, you can see these node modules. Okay, all these will have the libraries that we will be using: the array, Babel, body parser, everything. Okay, we will not be using everything at once, but these are the things that we might be using in our assignments. Okay, it will automatically load. Okay, public, we will not be touching that. We will only concentrate on the source folder. Okay, here, as I told you, app.js exists. Okay, so now we have opened app.js. Now let's go back here into our terminal and say, what does it say? We suggest that you begin by typing cd assignment one app. So cd assignment one app, and then npm start. So we are using the inbuilt React server. Okay, one important thing is, since it is the first time we are using it, it will take some time to load it. Okay, and we have our assignment, first assignment. Can all of you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right? So now what we will do is, see, we can see the logo here, correct? We can see the logo, we can see some text, we can see learn React. This is a link. So it will take you to react.dev link. Okay, see, you have everything here. Okay, so since we already have this, we do not need, we say for example, we do not need this or the link. So what we do is we try to eliminate everything. Okay, so first we will eliminate the link. We do not need the link right now, correct? So as you can see, keep observing what exactly happens and which section changes, which section does not change. Keep observing the logo. When I delete the paragraph, that is lines 9 to 11, the logo still keeps running, and only the text is only this section is reloaded, the paragraph section. Okay, just keep observing the logo. The logo did not stop rotating, right? So this is what I mean by single page application. So the whole thing does not reload, only the sections reload. So we do not need all of this. We just need a h1 statement. Okay, we will see. Okay, see, now I've deleted everything inside return function, as you can see. Okay, so we have an error. What does it say? Syntax error, unexpected token. So basically, whenever you write a return statement, you have to return something. In this case, it would be a HTML tag. Okay.
Are you guys not seeing it too small, the font? I'm finding it very difficult to strain my eyes.
Yeah,
Or all of you are
Here,
okay?
sir.
Yeah, this is better, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it's now visible now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, my bad. I did not realize that it was too small. Okay.
right.
So,
A little bit could you extend?
sorry,
Like could you extend little bigger?
a little more.
Yeah, yeah.
Now you can see.
No, this. No, I mean this part. This thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now better.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay. So as you can see, the error is also being displayed. It says in line 6. So it expects something. Correct? So every time there's a return, we need to return something. We cannot return blank. So what I do is I just put a H1 tag. Okay. I just put a H1 tag, but I haven't given any text inside it, right? So it is like, okay, you are returning something, but there's nothing to be displayed, so I'm not displaying anything. So let us say, welcome to ReactJS workshop. So now we have returned something and it is getting displayed here in the browser. Correct?
Yeah, sorry, Mridula, if you don't return anything, what is the error? I want to see that error again. If you
Yeah.
remove that two lines, run it. I want to see what is the error.
It
Oh,
just says unexpected token.
okay. Well, how did you
Yeah,
figure out? How did you figure out that that is a problem? Because the pointer is at line 7, is it? Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, okay,
So basically, what it says is there should be something. So
okay,
the errors might not be very clear in the sense, but once you start executing it, you will be able to understand how exactly, why exactly it is returning. And also, one simple logic is whenever you try to return something, it shouldn't be null even when you're doing with java or c. You just cannot write return and semicolon. You need to return either 0, 1 or something else, correct? So the same logic applies here. So you cannot return null basically. So you need to return some value. It shouldn't be null. That's it.
okay. Got it.
Yeah. So we can just say control z, and then our heading is being displayed. Okay. So, any questions until now? If not, we will go to the next part of the workshop, which would be hooks and time based logic. Okay. So, let us see what hooks and time is. Okay. So React has something called hooks. Okay. As I told you, use state and use effect are the most commonly used hooks, or the basic hooks that we use all the time. Okay. So we need to not only have data, but sometimes you will have to update the data constantly. Say for example, in a real world scenario, we will have okay, say here, correct, gmail. I open a email, correct, and then I click on the arrow. The data should be updated, right? Whenever I do something to the website, the data must be updated. It shouldn't be like the data must be a constant thing. So what we need to do then is we need to make sure we have something to store the data. Okay. So we do this by making use of hooks concept. Okay. So hooks is a way to store and update data. Okay. Mm. Any questions?
So what is the use of use effect hook?
Okay. So basically use effect um, is like a trigger. Okay. So if you want something that needs updation, okay, then you use effect. So when there is an update, say for example, you need to you need to update the data, only you click on refresh, okay, then you can
Okay.
use effect and say, okay, I have clicked on refresh, you need to run when there is a change in the website. So
Okay.
imagine this, okay, imagine here, okay, let's go to our clocks, okay. In our clocks we have a second, we have a minute, and we have an hour, correct?
Okay.
It is very similar to the concept, okay. We use effect in order to change the time, in order to change okay, also timers, for example. So whenever the hand moves, there should be an automatic trigger of time, correct? So say for
Yes.
example,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
yeah, sorry.
Yes, ma'am. I told it.
Okay, you understood.
Yeah, like what? Use effect like some you told like some like a clock should trigger when time changes.
Yeah, exactly. So the information needs to be updated, right? So when we use effect, okay, I'm just talking for the next example. I will show it to you. Okay, it need not be only that. Okay, I'm just giving you an example so that you can relate for everyday example. So a use effect, you can also use it when there is a new data incoming. You don't need to update your website or a web page continuously. Only when new data arrives, then you have to update your data. Correct?
Okay.
So
Yeah, yeah.
say for example, tomorrow a new country forms, and your website should be able to identify that new state or a new country, and then able to display that. Use
Yes,
effect
yes.
comes into play then because there is some new data for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, correct. You understood this?
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So any other questions? No. Okay. Sorry. So use effect, you understood. Use state is another hook we will be using. Okay. So use state is for remembering values. Okay. When the values changes, then there's a automatic update. Okay. We will see both of it in our next assignment. That is world clock display. Sorry. Okay. So as you already know, we have everything in our GitHub, and we will be using our GitHub in order to create the project so that it will be quicker and faster. Okay. So if you just go here, I will just paste it in the chat. Okay. So if you just go here, world time display app, here we have our readme page, and our main goal for this project would be to display local time in the 10 major cities across the world. Okay. So we have, as you already know, we have different time zones everywhere in the world. So it might be late morning or late night anywhere in the world. So the time doesn't stop. So we need to make sure we can create something. Okay. We can display the clock and then see everything on a site. Okay. We will be doing that in the same project. Okay. So what does it say? This ReactJS app displays the current local time in 10 major cities around the world. It helps user easily check the different time in different parts of the world at a glance. Okay. So the cities are San Francisco, Chicago, New York, London,
Okay, let's
Dubai,
just ask
Bangalore.
this question. What do you think is the time in San Francisco now, Pranav?
I think around 8, 10 a.m.
Yeah, good, good, good. And what do you
Yeah,
think is
thank
the time in Sydney now?
Sydney, I guess like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. tomorrow, or
Yes, yes. 2
yeah,
a.m.
Yeah.
tomorrow.
tomorrow means February 17th. Huh? Mm.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
good, good. Yeah, you are
Okay.
approximately correct.
Thank you, sir.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that you are having a good sense of time. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Badula.
Yeah. So, as you already know, we will be using React.js, HTML, of course, and CSS for styling. Okay. We will look into it. Okay. So, we also have our setup and installation. We need Node.js, which we already verified, and we have our npm as well. Then we created npx create React app and app name, that was assignment one. And we started our development server and the
One
development.
more level of magnification there, please. Just one
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you.
Okay. So we also have our React development server running. So start development server, modify app.js. So let's go back here under assignment one app. We have our source, and inside that we have app.js. So click on that. And what does it say? It says add the following statement in the return. So we will copy this statement and we will paste it here. Okay. Okay. We will not use div right now. I will show you why we use div later. Okay. So let's go back to our development server. It says world clock display, which is right. That's what we want. So next, we also have some delete statements, which we did. We have to delete the logo import. As you can see here in the terminal, it says one warning. Okay, logo is defined but never used. See, normally what happens is warnings is not much of an issue until it becomes an issue. Correct. So what we will do is we will just take it out just for successfully compiling. Okay. So as you can see, Webpack compiled successfully. So there's no issues. Okay. Delete the logo import file and delete all the lines of code that we did previously. And we added our world clock display. Okay. Now we will close the terminal. We do not need the terminal for now. Okay. But remember, nothing is changing here. So now what happens is we normally in the real world scenario, we group all the JSX files together. Okay. It is for ease of things. Okay. So normally what happens is in real world, it will not be one or two pages. We will have hundreds of pages. Okay. Different pages. So say take for example, take a registration page. Okay. It will have say for registration one code, for login another file, for say OTP another file maybe. So just for registration we will have say 2 3 files or 4 5 files. So everything, if we put everything in the source folder, it might be confusing. We will not have time to understand. We will not have time to debug. We don't know where what is. If you put all everything together in a single clump, you will not be able to know what is what. So that's why we normally classify it under different folders. So what we will do here is we will be having all our JSX files in one single subfolder under source. Okay. Now here what we do is under source, we create a new folder called pages. Okay. Here we will create we will create a new JSX file called page1.jsx. Okay. Here page1.jsx. Okay, as you can see, our page1.jsx is under pages. So what do we need to do now? So we are in point, we did point 2, 7.2. Now we are at 7.3. Add export default function page 1. So one important thing is here, you need to know, without this export default function, we will not be able to use the logic in page1.jsx in our website or in app.js or anywhere else in the program. So whenever it is more like a package, okay, it is like a library. Think of this particular file as a library. So until you have an import statement and an export statement, you will not be able to use any of its contents, correct? So in order to be able to use it, we need to add this line of code, export default function. Okay, we will do export default function. Always remember, your file name and your function name should match. Okay, so we did this. Now what does it say? Create an array of cities inside page 1 function. Okay, so we have the list here, right? We have 10 cities. We need to create an array of these cities. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we are going to have const cities. Okay, now we will just take 2 for example right now. Okay, and then we will just leave it at that. Okay, we will just take 2 now, see what happens, and then we will come back and add the others. Okay, so now what is the issue? Cities is declared, but its value is never read. So we will be using the variable in our next set of code. Okay, now what we are going to do is, we are going to display the list of cities by adding this particular set of lines or particular set of code in return function. Okay, so what we do is, we have a return statement, and within this we will have a h1. Oh, I would like to show you something else. Okay, cities. Okay, so we have this, and we have ul, and then we have, okay, in JSX, in order to okay, so here everything is HTML. So in order to access the cities, we need to make use of curly brackets. Okay, this curly brackets lets the file or the compiler know that we are moving to JavaScript code, not the HTML code. So this one would be cities of, so what is the city? So since it is an array, it will start from the index 0. So if we want to display San Francisco, it would be cities of 0 dot name. Okay, and then this would be cities of 1 dot name. Okay, but we are having an issue here. Let's see what the issue is. Okay, here, see, JSX expressions must have one parent element. So that means that all these h1, ul, all these HTML tags should be enclosed within another tag. So there should be one parent element and n number of children elements. So in order to overcome this, what we normally do is, return, we say div, and then enclose all the other things inside this div tag. So now, as you can see, we do not have any issues. Okay, any questions?
Why div tag is must? Like whether div is a parent element
No, it
compared to
can
head.
be any, it can be any parent element. The thing is, if you look at your web page, normally there'll be different sections. Say, let's go back to our Gmail itself. Okay. So as you can see, this is a section. This particular thing is a section. Here is also a section, correct? All these things are different sections. Okay. So normally what happens is division. I mean, div is basically what it does is it will divide your web site or the web page into different sections. Okay. It
Yes.
could also be as simple as H1, doesn't matter. Okay. But div is normally what we use. See, you can also use H1, doesn't matter. But
Okay.
since it is kind of a parent element, normally when you design a website, div will div tag is normally the parent tag. Inside your div tag, you will have other elements, right? So it is just
Yeah.
ease of convenience, to maintain everything in the order. Okay. So it need
Okay.
not be div, as I told you. Okay. It
Okay.
is just, since the beginning, we have been using div tag as the parent element. So we are going to do the same thing. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So now we did it, but still nothing is getting displayed, correct? We ideally, San Francisco and Chicago should be displayed along with cities. Okay. So let us see what is missing. Okay. Let's go back to our README and then here. See, we did everything. We exported, but we did not import it. So what we, in order to be able to view everything that is inside page1.jsx, we need to go to app.js and then import it. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to add an import statement. Okay. Import page one. So this page one would be the React tag. As I told you here, I showed you, right? My button is a React tag. Similarly, we'll be using page one as the React tag here. Okay. From dot slash pages slash page one dot jsx. Okay. Okay. Now we have another warning. Page one is declared, but its value is never read or used. Okay. So we will see. Now we imported it. Let us see if it does anything. Still no, because we haven't said to the React compiler where it needs to display it. So what we will do is here inside the return function, we will make use of this. Okay. Page one. Okay. Oh, we have an error. What does it say? Adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. So what does it say? These two are children. H1 and P1, page 1 are children. So there cannot be two things. There can only be one return. So we should enclose it in a div tag or an empty tag. But we will be using div since we have already used div previously. Okay. Did you see? Did you see that we have our cities and San Francisco and Chicago getting displayed? That is the thing. So we need to let the compiler know where to display it as well. So what this return does is it will just display whatever we are trying to display on the, we are trying to return and display on the web page. Nothing else. Okay. So let's go back to our README. Okay. So now what it says, okay, we did that. We included the reference and we are able to see the output as well. So now what we will do is we will create another JSX file. Okay. That we will call page 2. here we will say page2.jsx. Okay. Here we will be using use state and all the other JS, logic, in order to display things, in order to calculate everything, we will be doing it in page2.jsx. So what we will do is, first thing is, as I told you, use state is used to store the information, correct? So use state, we are going to import use state from React. It is already inbuilt. So what we are going to do is, we are going to import use state from React. Okay. Then we are going to add the export function, because without export, we will not be able to use any of the logic of page2. Okay. So export default function page2, and then inside this we will be having const time, set time, new state, new date. So basically what we are doing is, we are going to extract it from our system. So we are going to extract the date. Okay. So we are going to extract the date, the time from our local system. Okay. Then we are going to manipulate this date. Okay. So now what we will do is, we will just return the city name and the time to and the time. Okay. So what we will do is, return so as you already know, return should have something to return. It shouldn't be empty. And normally these are HTML tags. We will be using div because we will be having some children elements. Okay. And since we are using time variable, that would be in JavaScript, we do not have any variable concept in HTML, correct? So we will be using JavaScript. So in order to let the compiler know we are using the variable, that would be a JavaScript thing, we will be using flower brackets. Okay. City, my bad. Here we need to use city. Okay. I will show you why we are using city. Okay. City dot name, and then city dot, or we could also use the time, since we already say time dot to local time string. Okay. So let us just use time for now. Let us see what it displays. Okay. So now we are done with this. We need to include page2 reference in page1, not app.js, because we are going through page1, and then we will, from page1, we are going to move the controller to page2. Okay. So what we need to do is, we need to import this, import page2, okay, from page2.jsx, and then here we will be doing something like, okay, so we will be using map. Does anyone know the map function? So the map function is very similar to for loop. Okay. So what it does is, it goes through the cities. So cities.map, what it does is, it is like a for loop. Okay. It is more efficient than for loop, because you do not need to, have too many new variables. Okay. So what we will do is, we will do, again, since it with the for loop, everything is JavaScript based logic, we will be using flower brackets. Okay, we will say cities dot map of. So now we are not passing only the name, we are passing name and time zone, which is an object. Correct. So what we will do is we will be passing city object and something called an index. Okay. So what happens is when you have too many things, okay, when you have many cities, there might be a possibility that there might, all over the world, there might be two or three cities named the same. Say for example, in Europe there is something called London. Okay, in US also there is a place called London, or in Germany there's a place called Nuremberg. In US there's a place called Nuremberg. So what happens here is React might get confused. Hey, I already executed Nuremberg, why is this coming again and again? So in order to avoid that, we will be using something called index as well. Okay, so index, as you already know, is like a special identifier. So there can be Nuremberg at index 0 and Nuremberg in index 10. But those two are completely different identities. So it will tell the React, oh no, these two are different items. So this would be Nuremberg 0, that would be Nuremberg 10. Okay. So what we will be doing is we will be calling page 2 here, and the key is the unique identification number, would be index, and the city, as you know, we have passed the city variable, correct? Here, as you can see, we have a parameter called city. So the value of city would be equal to city object. That means every time, so there is two items, right? So the page 2 will be called 2 times. Okay. Let us see what our React app displays. Ooh, okay. What is it? Okay, we have an issue. So let's see. Okay. See here, unexpected token expected. See here, we can see. So basically it is saying something is missing here. So let's see what. See, we have one bracket here, one bracket here, open bracket, close bracket, and then this one. Did you mean this? Okay. I think we are missing a something here. No. Okay. Oh. What seems to be the issue? Let me just do this. Parsing error, expected. Oh, my bad. No, this not seems to be the problem. What could be the problem? Ah, my God. Okay, I think now we are good to go. No? No. Objects are not valid as React child. Control action. Why is it not valid? Let's go back. Let's check what the issue is. Mhm. Cities.map. This is right. City object. My index would be here. Page 2 key text city object. Okay, let's go back to here. Oh, what seems to be the issue? I don't think this seems. Yeah. Okay. So basically, what happened was the time was, see, the time cannot be displayed as is in our HTML, in our this one. So what we could do is, in order to display time, we have to move. We have to make use of two local time string in order to be able to display time. Okay, so what happened was we had an issue here. So the issue was here. You can see objects are not valid as React child. If you meant to render a collection of children, use an array instead. So basically, I haven't time would be displayed as an array element, okay, because it will have date, it will have time, it will have seconds, it will have everything. So basically, what happened is time. I should have done is technically something like this, okay, or like this. So basically, if I want to display time, normally I would have to use two local time string. So this, what it does is it will convert the time to, time variable to a readable time. Okay. So normally what will happen is, I will just show it to you here. So what we do here is we could say console.log and we could say time. Okay. And then here we go to the browser, right click and inspect. Here we go to console, and then as you can see, we have Monday, Feb 16th, 2026. So all of these would be an array. Okay. And then that is what it is displaying. So since we have called it twice, it is displaying twice. But as you can see, it is displaying our current time. Okay, since I'm in Germany, it is displaying 16:29:37 seconds. Okay, but it is not changing and it is false, right? So I am in Germany, but San Francisco, Chicago, everything is in US. The times are wrong. So that needs to be handled as well. Okay. That, in order to do that, what we will do is we will make use of our time zone argument here. See here in page 1, we have something called name as well as time zone, correct? So it says America, Los Angeles time zone, and Chicago is in America, Chicago time zone. So what we do is we will have something called, just a moment. We will have something called, we will create another variable const of, no, of const formatted time is equal to time dot to okay, time to local string. Okay, so basically time to local string, we can also have some parameters. Okay, see, if you hover over it, it says local, so international argument. So basically we can give it as which language. So it is normally en us, so English of US accent. Okay, so as you know, British and English, US English are completely different. It might, they use so many different things. We will be using en us since it is standardized. Okay, along with that, we will be able to make use of time zone as well. So what we need to assign it here. Okay, time zone of city dot time zone. Okay, now now if we go back here, and instead of displaying time dot to local time string, we can change it to formatted time. And then if we click on refresh, it is displaying in San Francisco it is 7:32 a.m. and in Chicago it is 9:32 a.m. So we could also verify this. Time in San Francisco, it is 7:33 a.m., which is correct. And then time in Chicago, 9:33 a.m., which is correct. That's what it is displaying here, right? So now we saw how to do it. Okay, but again, it is not changing, the time is not changing along with the seconds. So in order to do that, we use effect. Okay, so now we will go back to our readme code, and then here we say use effect. We need to update the time automatically without having to click refresh. So in order to in order to do that, we use effect. So now we will go back here to the import statement and say use effect, and then we will have a function called update time. Okay, update time of set time. So here we have an inbuilt function called set time. So this set time, we are going to make use of this and say new date. Okay, now we use effect of function set up interval. So basically what we are doing is we are going to say every second, please do this. Okay, what are we going to do? We are going to update the time. Okay, so we are saying const timer is equal to set interval of update time, comma 1000 milliseconds. So for every second, keep on updating the time, and then we are going to do a little cleanup in order to remove the set interval at the end of exiting the application. Okay, now all that is left to do is go back and see if it is working. Is it working? It is working.
Yeah, Mrudula, it's
So
8 minutes
oh
past
yeah,
9. Yeah.
okay,
So would
sorry.
you like
Sorry
to?
guys, sorry for taking up a little bit of more time, but
Yeah,
I
yeah, no
just
problem.
wanted to show
So
you. Yeah.
you will tomorrow. You'll just continue this and then take up the next assignment. Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Any
tomorrow, what
questions?
we will. So tomorrow we will do a quick update of the array. So we will be adding all the other cities, and then we will be moving on to the next part of the React workshop. Okay.